Well, here we are yet again with another legend as we get ready to do a timeline shoot. And the years we're going over is '06 and '07 with the legendary 90% in the fucking building, dag bleh, in the flesh, in the flesh. Ha ha. 90, it's good to have you here, man. This is big. Yeah, Dag, I watch all the damn timeline shoots, the latest one with damn Monster. Yeah, I mean, shit is very interesting. I love these things because you get different perspectives and, different thoughts of what was going on. And it shows you, even on XTV West, nigga, we surprise ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Or really, what's the most surprising with monsters? Motherfucking shit. Just his whole view of CAW. You know what I'm saying? It truly blows my mind. I mean, CAW is something that I feel turned us up. You know what I mean? We was turned up and shit like that. And it's just surprising that him and a lot of people think it was a fake ass ECW. You know what I mean? I think it was just, it gave us that edge that we needed. You know what I'm saying? Because it was only so long you can go with being that whole fucking kitty type shit. You know what I mean? And CAW gave us edge and gave us our own identity, and we stood out from XTV East. And that was the first thing that made us stand out. But I ain't know that the niggas, really been on that. Even I was there for a little while. I fought the best one time. I think I beat that nigga ass. Nah, don't laugh. I beat his ass. I remember him crying, coming to my locker room like, man, you ain't had to do that. 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 And I said, yeah, but at least you know not to fuck with me again. 90, you might be our last timeline shoot. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, you might be our last timeline shoot on XTV West Coast. We're going to try to get the East to talk about some of these years. We're trying to do Gex. It's coming out okay. It's just, contract restrictions and, legal stuff. Well, hopefully I don't just be the last. I'll be the best. What? So, burning the church on your show 90%. When I burned the church on my 90% episode, that was to symbolize a whole lot of different things. You know what I mean? Just some people at the time was like, oh, he doing this for shock value. I ain't shocked, nigga. No. But you see, it was, and I should have just said what I did instead of just did it, because from a pussy ass nigga perspective, it just looked like, oh man, he just trying to be offensive, it hurt. But religion, to me, is to make you look like you believe in God. You know what I'm saying? That's my honest opinion on that. And, to me, religion is the author of confusion. You know what I'm saying? Because you got these different perspectives and you got these ideas about God, and they tell you whatever, like, this is right. You know what I'm saying? This religion is right and no other one is right. And then you have conflict. And you got motherfuckers out in front of strip clubs, you know what I'm saying, preaching that bullshit, talking about something, yeah, all y'all going to hell for looking at titties. You like titties? You ain't supposed to like titties. You going to hell. You going to hell. We all gonna burn. Except me, because I'm telling y'all going to hell, so I ain't going to hell. I'm doing the right thing, baby. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is with me. Like, I feel like religion is the devil a lot of times because, and not every religion, but like when you put darkness within that shit, like saying this is right, fuck them other, you got other religions bumming other damn countries and shit. You know what I'm saying? You got wars breaking off over religion. You know what I'm saying? Not the devil, religion. Put your head around that. And so with me doing that shit on 90%, You know, I was still a young nigga, and I didn't really know how to say that. Like, I didn't know how to put it like I just put it. So with all that rage, you know what I mean? Because that's in turn what this whole period was. It was a lot of rage a lot of niggas was dealing with in XTV. And through that rage, I did what I did. Am I sorry for it? Nope. Because I already explained why the fuck I did it. So stop being a bitch. But, yeah, but I mean, there were people attending the church, I mean, that you know, got burned. Innocent people, lives was in danger. I've been in that church numerous times. They full of shit. Nah, they full of shit. You know what I'm saying? They whole congregation, I've been there a lot of times. And, you know, because I've done it, you know, multiple times. Yeah, that's true. To different churches. But, like, I truly want to eliminate followers. You know what I mean? I want to eliminate every single follower that exists, and, you know, teach people to lead. You know what I mean? My way of deleting the motherfuckers that's following is going that extra mile and, you know, burning shit up and causing a ruckus. Cause that's just what 90% do. That's just the real nigga way. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't regret it because I've been there before, and most of them niggas is assholes. 90, I mean, you know you're going to cause a lot of controversy. Yeah, I might cause a lot of controversy. You know what I'm saying? Like, a whole lot of shit. But let it be. You know what I mean? This is from my perspective. And, you know, I mean, but think about the innocent lives. Okay, nigga, you got me in the corner. Sorry. I ain't mean to kill them niggas. I ain't mean to hurt them. You know what I mean? Except some of them niggas that was mean. But them other people, you know, they was innocent. You got me in the corner. At the time, did you know Sing Along was going to be the biggest FNK episode? This is a big ass story. You know what I'm saying? FNK Sing Along to me is just one of the best TXG tapes we lost. You know what I mean? Personally, from me, I understand that we've lost a lot of recordings. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, and some people even say shit like, you know, the shit that we lost is better than the shit that we have. And part of me does agree with that, you know, and Sing Along is prime example on that shit. Like, you talk about a recording that inspired so many other different recordings of XTV West. You know what I'm saying? Just this one record now. It's crazy. It's like, but it's like we can't, are you looking at porn as you're talking to me? I'm a real nigga. But, like, I don't know how to put it, man. It's just Tupac. Yeah, I guess I'll use somebody for example. Tupac. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest rappers of all time. You know, whose life was cut short. And it's fucked up because he don't get to see the legacy he left. He don't get to see the motherfuckers he inspired. You know what I mean? And the laws even that he's inspired. You can look this shit up if you don't believe me. You know what I'm saying? And like all these different things. And it's unfortunate he don't get to live through that. And I know this just a recording, but like I just wonder how it will hold up. You know what I'm saying? Like, is the Cosby Show better than Sing Along? You know, we'll never know because we don't have that recording no more because the shit got fucked up. You know what I mean? And everything that came from it. I mean, the House of Ribbits. Exactly. We can go on forever. You know. And this was the most popular show for a long ass time. Like the House of Ribbits incident when Flamingo Frog came and swung on Killer Ass, and that storyline in it of itself, shit was amazing, you know. And it's just unfortunate it's not around. Shit, because you gotta understand, FNK 2, it came before I came. You know what I'm saying? Before I entered into the picture, it was always FNK. So it was like, how am I gonna stand out? you know, and we're gonna eventually get to my show. But that's why I did so much, because, you know, sing along, even though it was just a recording, so much was happening on that motherfucker. So I tried to up the ante by damn recording on the VCR, record on just the radio, you know what I'm saying, all these different things, and it just looked like a mess. The shit looked like the damn, what's the shit, the damn Sega CD with all the other damn parts to it, whatever that Sega system is, where you gotta hook this system up to hook this system up, and it looked like a damn orgy, you know, in the words of ABGN. It's like, it's the same shit with this, you know. It's like, I mean, same shit with 90, because that's what I did. I did a whole bunch of different shit to try to stand out, and it just looked like a mess, you know what I mean? Even though when I did do my second episode that, you know, we're gonna get to later, it's like that stood out because of what I did, you know, and I didn't just try to go the extra mile. I just let the shit happen naturally, you know, and that's why FUK sing-along is one of the greatest, because it was so natural. And I think a lot of times, you know, when some shit is natural, it's like it's some of the best shit you ever heard, you know what I mean? Because it's not putting all these different aspects and things, you know, to make it great. It's just being great. And when you just be great and you don't try to overdo it or outdo whoever, it's the greatest work, you know. And motherfuckers need to know that. And I was that motherfucker that needed to know that then. But I'm the motherfucker that know it now, telling you motherfuckers, know that. Hey, boy. I like how, you know, even though these shits are way out of place, you know, I like the order these questions are in, you know, because they tie into what I'm saying. Basically, we came out of a long ass drought, XTV West Coast. You see, in late 2005, we just had an era of shitty ass radios. You know what I mean? It was just a period of bad radio after bad radio. It was just like that era, you know what I'm saying? Like every single radio we have is fucked up. So, but the thing is, the content was good, you know. Well, it was decent, I want to say. Certain shit got played out, but that's just what it was. So we finally had our last shitty radio in the beginning of 06, you know what I mean? And it just crapped out on us, and we was fucking it up. And next thing you know, we was gone for a long time, and then that's when we went to FYE and bought this brand new radio. And it was pretty. Like, it was like the most newest radio we ever bought. And we thought, damn, you know, we gonna have this radio for years. That shit lasted, what, 2 seconds? You know what I mean? It ain't even last long. It was lame. They tried to do the F&K, and it was okay. Them niggas was happy as hell. Yeah, that's what I wrote down on my little list here. They were happy as hell. Yeah, they was happy. It's just a damn radio. You know what I mean? They like, and then during the whole process of that, them being happy and recording, the damn tape got fucked up and the radio just got destroyed. I mean, one would just assume that you guys would take it back to the place and say, and, you know, get a warranty. And we weren't thinking that at the time. Shit. When we wanted to record, we wanted to record, you know what I'm saying? And like, if some shit got fucked up, we didn't look deep into why it was fucked up and try to get our money back and stuff like that. It'd just be like, oh, you know what happened, you know what I'm saying? Move on. And, you know, in a way, we stood the same way in a way. Let me get some water. But yeah, man, as big of a blow as this was, better days was to come and better things was to come in 06, and worse things as well. Comeback FNK. You see, the thing with the late 05 episodes, I'm finna go in, nigga. You know, can I go in? You can go in. Can I go in? You wanna hell? When we recorded in 05 doing FNK, you know, and we found our voice, well, when they found their voice with FNK3, you know, that was the style that they ran with. And sometimes, shit, to date, like, we recorded so much, well, they recorded so much in 05 that we still finding boring ass recordings from that time period. You know what I mean? You just can't finish because they saying the same joke over and over again. But you got to understand, at that time, that was big for us. You know what I'm saying? The way we would swear and use different words and shit like that. You know, it's kind of like watching a black and white film with no sound nowadays. It's like, probably back in that day, this was big. But right now, if this shit was to debut in theaters, it would get panned. You know what I'm saying? It would be, like, destroyed. And that's the similar shit with the early days of FNK. But what happened was, we started listening back to our old FNKs and being like, shit. You know what I'm saying? We need to be louder. You know, and we need to speak up. And then the shitty radio era, you know, where every radio we was getting was terrible. That pops up in the shitty radio era, but like the content was strong. But then the radio got messed up for the last time in 06, and for like maybe 3 months we was gone and we couldn't record. So that whole time we was kind of honing our skills, you know what I'm saying, by listening to these different recordings and doing different voices and all that shit. So finally this comes, FNK Comeback, and shit, it's everything we ever did up to that point turned up. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more louder. Just try to get through a 05 FNK episode. Try to get through maybe 2. If you get through 1.5, it's understandable. It's that boring. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So once it got, but yeah, try to listen to that and then listen to the Comeback FNK, and you'll see what I'm trying to say. Like you see the growth. You know what I mean? And us just turning everything up. I'm just having memories of this whole time period, you know. Because even though 06 is not the greatest year as far as our life and at the time, it is like one of the best years as far as content in XTV. You know what I'm saying? And this particular portion, Sang Along, Comeback FNK, this was that period that was just like, shit was dope. You know what I mean? And it didn't stop until, like, you know, we did that last recording. I don't even remember what it was, but we did like the last recording. It was probably Desperate Times, you know, which was another good recording. And I remember Desperate Times, it was going up against Sing Along as far as recording of the year, and of course Sing Along won. Yeah, man. But at least Desperate Times FNK episode, at least that shit's still around, and it holds up decently. You know what I mean? It's listenable. I think that's what I can say about the 06 FNK era, is at least them recordings listenable now. You know what I mean? The damn 05, you can't play the shit and enjoy it. I'm spitting all along the damn phone, but you can't play the shit and enjoy it because it's just so old and dated, and you know, we using the same jokes. Like, it's so redundant after a while. It's like me saying, you know, after every sentence. It's like, damn, self, say something the fuck else. But it's hard. Fuck you. Who, me? Nah, the stupid ass phone. And this is also Comeback Sparks the first time Pain admits to being on drugs. Can you go? The first time Pain admits to being on drugs. We just talking shit to this phone. This phone just getting on our damn nerves tonight. Even the host. Can you go? Damn. Like, you in traffic and shit. Can you go? This is the first time Pain is no longer on crack. Your thoughts? Hey, we was proud of him, man. You know, truthfully, a lot of people was proud of him. But I don't know, man. We just wanted to see him break. You know, a lot of people wanted to see him break and wanted to see him use crack again for whatever reason. But it was influential, you know what I'm saying, with what he had going on. Because Pain, you know, we knew him as Diddy Kong all these years, and his story up to that point, just everything made sense. And it was gonna be like a resurgence of HY. He had so much planned, you know, but I just truly feel like he would have stayed clean around this time if he would have went to a damn sober house. You know what I mean? Your nigga 90s had friends that's been on that's been on drugs and shit. They feel like they get out of rehab and they ready, but it just take one friend or so-called friend to dangle that shit in your face. You know what I mean? I wish I knew where my headphones was. And you know, when somebody dangle that shit in your face and then they're like, oh, you know you miss these days, you give in. But if you at a sober house and you able to let these thoughts out and be there for a while, then you know you'll be all right. Of course you might die a few years later from all the years you did the drugs, but you know, be off it now. Be sober. That's fucked up. It ain't fucked up, it's real. Fucked up. The final TXG TV. Now, 90, a lot of people have asked me, why was this the last TXG TV? Well, it's a long story that I'm going to tell. You see, one time, Joat pissed us off, you know. This may be this one time when Soup broke Joat tape because Joat had woke up and just like jumped at Soup or some shit. Like, I don't really remember, but Joe was like kind of trying to like, you know, fuck with him and stuff for no reason. And Soup got very mad and he said, you better get out of here, bitch. Oh, stupid ass. And then he had broke that boy tape on some that. And he wasn't done there. You know what I mean? He went even more bitchy. He got on the GameCube and he erased all of Joat's characters off of Day of Reckoning. Every single character. He went one by one, you know. And at the time, he was like, damn, why I did that shit. Because now he couldn't play the game. You know what I'm saying? And so he had like I guess they made up after a while. Pause. I guess they was cool, you know, and stuff like that. So Soup was like, damn, you know, I ain't have to go that damn far, nigga. Now what we gonna do, you know? And so he said, fuck it, I'm gonna make the last TXG TV episode, put everybody on the card, and you know, then erase all my people. You know what I mean? And that kind of ended that Day of Reckoning era. I'm surprised that the Day of Reckoning era was going on around this time still. Yeah, the Day of Reckoning era was still going on. You know, I think at one point, you know, because even though we had 06 at this time, I think 06 was still new and shit like that. Because we wasn't sure about 06, so we was kind of like tinkering on going back to Day of Reckoning. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure the East Coast don't even remember this shit, but yeah, we was like, it was like that because WWE 06 was too damn slow for us. So we was like, damn, you know, we might have to go back to Day of Reckoning. You know what I'm saying? I like that speed better. And so like, I think it was gonna be 2 shows. I think it was gonna be Day of Reckoning and then 06. But Soup wound up erasing Joat dudes from 06. And made his own dudes. I mean, yeah. He erased his dudes from their reckoning. And yeah, man, what the fuck was I gonna say? I lose thoughts very fast, and it's very upsetting. I understand. It's very upsetting. It made me just want to take myself out of myself and whoop my own ass. You know what I'm saying? But then I get back in myself and be in pain. But that's how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think I gave my opinion. Give me 1 second, homie. So yeah, he erased Joat Dudes, and he did the final TXG TV, and this was epic because this came out at a time period, where the Call of Duty show was very underwhelming, and as a result, it caused the domino effect, and everything was bad. You know what I'm saying? Everything like that kind of followed it with the Joe show. Joe show was okay, but the Killer Comedy Tour was bad. That FNK season after. We gonna get into it later. I ain't gonna get into it here. Yeah, I'm saying, but it was like a downfall as far as XTV, after this and different things like that. Like after Call of Duty, I meant, it was like a long downfall, and it was a big bad drought. And then this came, and this was one of the only good things that came out of that period. TXG TV, the last one. And what I truly like about this episode is everybody is showing up. You got Trunks, he just so TXG TV. And you just got all that. You got so much good energy on this show. And the first tape got lost or destroyed, because of the radio or whatever. But this whole shit, it was like match after match, moment after moment. And to this date, man, its age doesn't really show. It still holds up as one of the greatest XTV recordings. And like I said, this came out at a bad time in XTV West, because shit just wasn't doing that good. But this was one of the only things that was able to do good. I might have some more to say on that. Hold that feet. And so after this show, everyone was erased. Yep, every single one. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a brand new game after this. So. Yeah. And you fought Woody on this TXG TV episode 90. Your thoughts? Any memories? Shout out to Woody. Shout out to this dude. Because even though, like I fell off real bad. You know what I'm saying? I fell off really bad. And so that was one of the things that was keeping me relevant. That was keeping me mid-card relevant. Mid-card Bob. That was keeping me mid-card relevant because we was having good chemistry and we was having a good show. I think he tried to sound like me one time and I had beef with him over that. And, we just had like petty beef. But it was funny. You know what I mean? It got the fans invested. And Woody was one of the things that was saving my career around that time because I could have been F-list, and then eventually, of course, 90% comes out and do what it does. And, that has a legacy in and of itself. Speaking of 90%, he was on a few episodes. Yeah, I used to go to his little country trying to fight his ass, And, like I said, shout out to Woody. He don't get enough respect. Give him love. Give him love. House of Ribbits. This shit was crazy. Again, this is around a time where XTV West ain't doing that good. I think that sometimes in XTV, when a recording is so good and so epic, it's like it's hard to follow it. You know what I mean? Because some things that we do so much anyway. So when you do so much and this one thing gets big, that you wasn't really paying that much attention to, you don't really know how to follow the format of whatever this is because you don't know what's popular about it. Sing Along, like I said before, that shit was amazing. And I think that was the biggest recording because it was like, damn, how do we top that? and you got me trying to outdo it, and you got all these different things going on, and eventually Call of Duty, like I, tried to, what I mentioned earlier, I hate my brain. Like the Call of Duty that I mentioned earlier, all these different things going on, but ultimately, shit, nothing could follow what Sing Along put down. And I'm just starting to remember, as I'm talking, because when we did that shit, dog, like Sing Along, we used to listen to that all the time, because we was like, fuck, like this is just too good. And I remember at the time we said it on the recording, we was like, dog, I'm not feeling it. That's what we said. Those was our exact words, like, I'm not feeling this. I know it's not gonna be funny, and then we listened to it back, and it was like, this is amazing. It's one of the greatest recordings we ever did, and nothing could top that. And things tried. I mean, I think I mentioned, briefly, that this inspired a speed era where everybody was trying to be fast paced with XTV, and some had small success and most had none. Exactly. You know what I mean? Because when some shit is, like I said, when some shit is natural, it's gonna be good. You know what I mean? Like, new natural is the shit. Sound like a damn drink. I farted and it stink. It's that new natural. I know, right? God no. Good night. But yeah, and that's just what Sing Along represented. A new era, a new time, and shit, when other things try to follow it and try to be it, it ain't gonna work. It's gonna be whack. It's hell. And that's just what happened, with the motherfuckers that tried to be Sing Along. F&K in jail. We can go forever, dog. All these different things. Just so much episodes try to follow this format. And what was your question, homie? I don't even remember. Your fart stinks. Oh yeah, House of Ribbits. So House of Ribbits came, and it wasn't popular at first. Because this was around that time where people wasn't feeling TXG TV, but it started to slowly pick up in views, and I think people just got interested with the whole story. I mean, Killer, Faz, and everybody. It was an interesting period. You know what I mean? Anything stands out to you about this episode, the first one? Shit, everything, bruh. Them coming in, the whole meeting. My favorite scene is the part where they eating at the table, and you can feel the tension, and that's what make these recordings so great. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we didn't have shit. You know what I mean? But the fact that you could feel tension on a fucking recording, between all these different characters, and it's really just one nigga. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you can feel it, and it's like everybody got tension, and then Killer just blurred out these P's chase like shit, and it's legendary. The way he say it, and then he feed the dog later in the episode, Rabel. That whole thing, bruh. And the fact that it's just so real, you know what I mean? I think that's what stands out about it. Is just so true, but it's still cartoony enough to be considered TXG. I think that's truly what makes this one of the most special recordings of that era, and even of this era, because it's just that good. And it got so damn good, the series House of Ribbits, that it became the only thing that people was looking at on XTV West. House of Ribbits was the only thing doing good for a while, and nothing else, like the Dark Show or F&K, and that was saving us from being irrelevant. Word. So, Call of Duty, we're finally here. We're here. The biggest fail in XTV West history. That's what Call of Duty is. Um, it's a damn shame, because this was supposed to even be on TV. Like, it was supposed to be that big. Like, it was gonna be on TV, and people was gonna like. It was some off that they was just so bad. Like, Dean couldn't talk to save his career for shit. And I think it was recorded, but we recorded F&K or some shit over it. Like, we're recording bad when we pick that recording up and say, fuck this shit, I'm recording over it. You know what I mean? I'm erasing this shit from history. And unfortunately, it has not been erased from history because we'll never forget how bad it was. Dean couldn't carry a show. And it's fucked up because people think just because he say, I'm Charles Dean, that automatically give him enough ammunition to have his own show, and it's not good. And you can look at it as, oh, they was just trying somebody new instead of using the cliche James Best. Cool. But nah, yeah. Because when Dean fighting a match, for instance, he ain't talking that much. You know what I mean? He might cuss somebody out or like say, I'm Dean, or, do something like that. But he ain't gonna carry like a show. You know what I'm saying? The Pain, he's a mouthpiece. Killer. Myself. You know what I mean? These niggas can talk forever. And even though Dean did a good job on the podcast, he was Bret Hart to me. What does that mean? Like Bret Hart got a Timeline podcast. He do 1992, and he cool if you really, really love those stories. You know what I'm saying? But like other people even said it in the comments. They like, man, this nigga boring. You know what I'm saying? And not saying Dean boring, but it's just when you got people like myself, like I said, that's expressive and can go there with you. Compared to Dean, that just be like, yeah, I remember that happened down, yeah, that's just that. Man, shut your boring ass up. You know what I mean? And that's just what it was with Charles Dean. He couldn't carry a show, and they gave the right show for the right time period to the wrong guy, because like they was trying to do a war show, and it made sense because I think the war in Iraq was still going on. You know what I'm saying? And it fit, but man, would have failed, And this started the domino effect of other shows failing as well. Exactly. Everything just started falling. Like F&K came back, and it was ass, and shit, the Joe Show, just everything. And I remember they was writing in the magazine. They was like, these are the newest shows coming out, and these are what's gonna change the face of TXG. But Dean's show was so bad that it caused other people to fall in that category. And you got into countless fights with Dean. What the East Coast doesn't know is you got into fights. Yeah, we had problems because I would say different things on my show, like, this how you supposed to do it, Dean. This how you carry a show. And my ignorant bad ass was just saying it in such a way like, bitch, this how you do it, your sorry ass. And so we got into a lot of fights, man. I'd be like, square up. And next thing you know, we going to create a pay-per-view on WWE 06, and shit, I'm fighting Dean, in the last match, in the Hell in a Cell match, or last man standing. And we had beef for some time because I felt, he failed so bad. Failed, not felt. Failed. I can't talk for shit. But he failed so bad that it caused a domino effect on shows that I feel like could have brought people out of a slump. You know what I'm saying? Killer was in a slump before he really got big. A long ass slump. So he got the opportunity to not just open up a recording, but to carry it because he got the Killer Comedy Tour. That was being promoted. But nobody paid attention because everybody was looking forward to Call of Duty. But I don't see how you can put all the blame on Charles Dean for all the other shows failing. You know what I mean? It's up to that person on that show to grab that audience. Oh no, Dad. I don't care, man. Okay? It's like this, Dad. everybody paying attention to TXG, because I feel like if Dean's show would have been successful and if he was good at it, then people would have cared about the other shows. But it was just like, it was pushed up to this high, it had all this hype and didn't deliver. You know, that fan base is gone now, because they like, shit, if Call of Duty bad, I'm sure these other shows bad, and they just don't care. You know, even though I'm sorry, Killer, your first Killer comedy tour sucked. You know what I mean? But you know, you got better over time. But that's just my opinion. You know, like I said, we cool now. You know, we ain't got no problems. But at the time, you know, we always had beef. We used to go to different award shows, or not award shows, but just random XTV shows, and I'd just be like, come on, square up, Dean, square up. And it'd be like Tupac during the East Coast, West Coast, just showing up to award shows, taunting Biggie ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was, you know. Shit. Oh, man. The Joe Show is responsible for a whole lot of things. I want to say good and bad. You know what I mean? Now, I feel like it's responsible for a lot of good. You know, I knew what he was trying to do, but I just never liked the way he was doing it, because he was bashing other people while doing it. I'm gonna be long-winded on this. It's okay. It's okay. Give me a second. We apologize for that. We were cut off due to the shittiness of this phone. But 90, you were saying? Pain is something else, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you attack somebody that's going through pain as opposed to help or pray for them, nigga, they gonna attack you. And what's that gonna cause? More pain. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit there and look at somebody and just be like, fuck you, because it is that, this, that. You don't know that person. You don't know what they got to go through every day. You don't know what they went through every day. So it's best to criticize with what you know as opposed to what you assume. You know what I mean? And I say that because that's what happened with the Joe Show. Myself, 90%, Killer, F&K, all these guys, you know, we was coming from how we felt. We people that come from true pain. You know what I mean? And as a result, it is inflicted in the art of what we do. Same thing with musicians. You know what I'm saying? Some of them come from pain. Some of them just want to get fucked up and drink some lean. You know what I mean? But a lot of people come from pain, you know what I'm saying, and use that lean or whatever the fuck to just subdue how they, you know, feel. And that's truly what I did with 90%. And that's why so many people felt me, because they felt that pain, but they had nobody to go to. You know, to me, and it's gonna piss a lot of people off, but I feel like church, you know what I'm saying, it's like a info commercial, you know what I'm saying, product. It's like, it may help some people. Some people might review the product positively, but a lot of people ain't gonna really talk that good about it, because it didn't do nothing for them. You know what I'm saying? Some things work for people and some things don't. You know what I mean? And I expressed pain, and maybe I did come the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you put me in the corner. I was wrong. You know, I said it. I stuttered when I said it because I don't want to admit it. But I shouldn't have burned them motherfuckers that, you know, I don't know their story. And I ignorantly dismissed their story and burned their shit up. Anyway, I'm going off track. Let's get back on this shit. So, when Grandpa Joe came on his show, dog, and the first thing he had said is, I want to get rid of people like Nanda. I want to get rid of people like Keller. And he called all us out. That had an effect on us, because as a result, you know what I mean, our stock started to, you know, decrease, and people stopped watching my show. And I just came, you know, with my show, and it was big as fuck, you know. And then with him saying that, it fucked us all up. Did you fart again? Yeah. I'm having a shitty day. And the thing that really got to me about Grandpa Joe is he was promoted heavily on FNK. You know what I mean? He was always promoted on that. And the fact that they would let him get on their show and promote his show. It's Joe. It is definitely Joe. And now you got your own format. Instead of thanking them for letting you promote it, and you know they're the reasons you got getting these views, you bash them. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's like, nigga, fuck you too. You know what I mean? You part of the problem. I often wonder, because we've mentioned House of Ribbits. What inspired this show is that segment on FNK Sing Along. You know, that's what got that House of Ribbits thing to get going, because, that fans were interested in that storyline. And, different things like we know why they happened. But why did the Joe Show really happen? Because, man, the Joe Show happened because, he would appear on the FNK episodes of 05. The late episodes, late 05. And he would be one of the only good things about it, because he would come in and he just used to just stand out. He was funny. He just used to be like, oh, here's Joe. He just used to just do his thing, you know what I mean? And it just used to be funny to us. So it just kind of rung in somebody's head like, damn, Grandpa Joe should have his own show. And, we announced it way back in 05 that Grandpa Joe was supposed to have his own shit. And it's like it never really worked out. But now it's 06, and here it is, the Joe Show. And at first, that was my biggest beef with him, is that he would point his finger at us and not knowing what we was going through. But, when I look at it in hindsight, I was doing the same thing. Going back to that damn church I burned up, that's what that was. Pointing my finger at every single body and saying, this is why they are, And it's crazy. We was doing the same thing. Pointing fingers and not really looking at each other's true situation. You know what I mean? But being old as fuck make you realize that. But being young as fuck, kill that nigga. Also, Killer coming in 07. Some people said it I guess it gets mixed feelings in hindsight, because at the time it was good for the Joe Show with Killer coming in there. But some people don't like it because it took away the element of it just being the Joe Show, and he made it his own little thing. What's your thoughts, basically? I don't know, man. Because I know people gonna call me biased for my opinion, but fuck you too, nigga. It's just Killer added color to the show. You know what I mean? Like, he added a different light, because the Joe Show would have just been him just pointing this out, saying this is disgusting, this is ugly, we don't like 90, we don't like this, we don't like that. It would have been so redundant. But Killer came in there with, nigga, I'm evil, I'm messed up. And I think Killer made them change. You know what I'm saying? They was kind of like, okay, we do keep on just saying something's wrong instead of trying to fix the problem. And I think when Killer came, that's when they was like, okay, they started to put messages out and put vibes out, good vibes, you know what I'm saying? And different things came out of that and made it more interesting. Those 06 episodes, even though they cool, they hypocritical as shit, and that's just it. You're just gonna listen to a hypocrite. With these episodes, you hearing, oh, that's what's going on. What this for to say smile for? Nigga, you always laughing at some shit. I'm like, what this say smile for? Huh? That was funny. You make me happy, 90. That's good. That's really good. I'm glad. You ain't gay, but you're glad. That was corny. But yeah, dog. That's how I feel with that. You know, Killer brung new light to it, and he added more of a comedy element to it. You know, would have just been serious. Killer Comedy Tour. I don't know what it is with just saying Killer Comedy Tour, but a nigga get goosebumps. Really? Yeah, man. Like, I get really happy, bruh. Like when I just see that name, man. You know what I mean? And it's funny because this shit started off so terrible. Like the first Killer Comedy Tour, I already mentioned it. Killer, that shit was ass. You know what I mean? And that's truly what it was. It was just ass, but like the legacy of it was most remembered, and this came about. The Killer Comedy Tour, what it was supposed to represent is how we felt about stand-up comedy at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, just everybody was always on. I remember one time, you know, we was watching one of these stand-up shows on Comedy Central, and like somebody was like, they just was just so getting cheap claps. It was just like, yeah, I just want to let everybody know, you know, I did this. Just a bunch of positive shit. And it's cool. But then Killer, he had to just do it his way. And he just did the opposite. You know what I mean? Just like, what if I just say the most fucked up shit? That's truly what it was brought upon as. It's like, I'm finna just say the worst thing ever. And that's why the early episodes ain't really funny at all. Because he just really just saying the most fucked up things, you know. And it's the opposite of what they consider comedy, you know, stand-up comedy. It's the opposite as it's not funny. Shut up. Don't talk about my dog like that. You don't know him. But, yeah, and what else? And it was also inspired by Comic View. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would watch Comic View all the time, and some of them jokes just wouldn't be funny, but people will laugh anyway. And so that's what Killer did there for us. Like, yeah, you know, I can do it too. You know, say something really lame, but instead of saying something lame, I'm gonna say something fucked up. So yeah, that's just what that was brought upon as. And the legacy of it, it got a great legacy. You know, what can be said? Shit, it give a real nigga goosebumps. Like, ooh, man, that nigga Killer, man. You know. Stop farting in my room, 90. Suck my dick. Pause. I need to decide to cut the thing off. Shut up. Don't tell him that. All because he wanted to look at a little titty or two. Oh, man. We got to do this shit again, homie. Yeah. So 90, you know, we talked briefly about your show debuting, and your first episode didn't do so good. Nah. And I already talked about it, man. You know, we was trying to do way too damn much on a shitty ass budget. And that's truly what killed it. You know, trying to do way too much. But this episode was better because I kidnapped Ron Isley, the second episode. Why did you kidnap Ron Isley? Well, at this time, 2006, fuck that. I'm finna go down the timeline. In 2001, I was up, maybe late at night, and, you know, I heard this motherfucker say, it's 2 a.m. and you're contagious, touch me, baby. And the fact that he was trying to damn cuss to stay relevant, you know what I'm saying? Just everything he did, it was that song. Like, that pissed me off. I'm like, okay, you know, I just wait for the next single. You know, I don't even remember what the next single is, but I probably didn't like it. Let's jump to 04. He came out with You're busted. You're busted. Doing the same little gimmick. Oh, maybe if I cuss more and have R. Kelly on every single song. So I just kind of dissed his ass, man. You know, I used to be like, oh, I used to look up to you. But you want to be like all these other new niggas. You know what I'm saying? And truthfully, I had how most people act at Walmart, you know what I mean? This I hate you ass attitude, and, you know, try to wait for you to do something. And even if you do something small, try to say that's the reason I snapped on your ass. So that's pretty much what it was with Ron Isley. You know what I'm saying? I was already mad at him for making shitty ass music. And, you know, in 2001 and 2004, and he used to make good music. Because you got to understand, dog, me and my mom, you know what I'm saying, we got a pretty good relationship. So, like, we'll go in the living room and we'll be dancing to Rush Your Thing, Do What You Want to Do. We'll be dancing to that, damn Caravan of Love, you know, No Incest, you know what I mean? Just all these different songs we'll just dance to and just get down. And then, like, I'm like, yeah, ma, Ron Isley came back. He back. She's like, oh, yeah, Ron Isley back. Then he wanna fucking damn, thought I told you to shut the fuck up. Yeah, I mean, cussing and shit. It's like, you used to do this shit, you fucking old son of a bitch. I got the damn, ooh, I was mad. And then I got slapped because, you know, my mom was like, this ain't Ron Isley, this some nigga that sound like a man, keep cussing. So yeah, it was that, you know, a build up rage. And like I told you before, like I said before, man, I was pissed off. Like, at that age, you know what I'm saying? I just had a lot of anger that I didn't know how to fucking let out, except just by letting out how I did, you know? And yeah, I burned his ass and did all these crazy ass things to him. And, you know, that's just what happened. And you live, you learn, you grow, and try to teach others. They ass don't want to listen because they're young. So fuck it. Cycle gonna keep continuing until somebody more prolific say some shit. When you got news that this was your first high-rated episode and you beat F&K, how did this make you feel? And you also had your own fan club. I mean, this brought a lot of success to your name. We had to put respect on your name. Don't say that. But you had so much good things going. You beat F&K, like I said, and you had your own fan club. Like, how did this make you feel? Real good, dog, you know, because I came in hoping that I would be on that level. Because you got to understand, 90%, you know, it started off as 90 and 10, but, you know, shout out to my dog, he hurt his leg, you know, he fucked his leg up. I don't even remember what he was doing, but he hurt his knee. And as a result, shit, he was unable to compete, you know, because 90 and 10 would have been the major show. So off-air episodes of 90 was getting big, and I was already getting my fans like that, you know what I'm saying? But then recorded the first one. It wasn't good, but the second one, the controversy of Ron Isley and all this, it's like, damn, it worked, you know? And it wasn't even planned. Like I was saying about being natural, that's all that was. It was natural anger. I burned his ass up. And he came back. He was a repeat guest. You know, each time we thought he was dead, he would come back even more messed up. And you even took care of his kid, Rich Boy. Yeah. I don't care what nobody tell me, but Rich Boy looked just like Ron Isley. Yeah. And yeah, man, it was real special. And I kept kidnapping his ass because I kept having the same rage. But after a while, it got old and played out. And probably the last time I kidnapped him, I was like, I'm sorry. Then I burned his ass up again by accident this time. Legendary 90. You're a legend. That's what they say. That's what they say. Sound like Renee. TXG Mania 5. You know, man, we did too much at this TXG Mania. This was also the first TXG Mania. You know what I mean? Prior to this, it was Sides of Mania. Sides. It's the first ever time it was just TXG Mania. I don't even remember the first match. I know I was in the main event. I fought Sis. Who else? I think it was me, Sis, 10, and somebody else, probably Dead. You know, that was like the main event. And this was supposed to be done on 3 locations: the GameCube, what else? The PlayStation, and I think the Day of Reckoning 2. Is there any reason this didn't work out? Yeah. Grandma, yeah. There's certain recordings that we no longer have, and part of me is glad we ain't got them shits. I think we still actually got this, so I shouldn't even be going through this. But this is one of the ones, like, if I could get F&K Sing Along back, I'd give you this for it. You know, basically, it was TXG Mania 5, and we was trying to just do all these different things and make it epic. And, you know, we planned it and we was doing it. Grandma, we thought, was asleep, but she wound up coming back in her room or something. And that caused us to not do XTV Mania 5, TXG Mania 5. And we just went in on her. You know what I'm saying? We went off. Because we was still confused, though, I think. You know, because she still had Alzheimer's and all these different things. But we didn't understand that shit, man. You know, it was just like, oh, grandma got Alzheimer's. Okay. You know, we knew that she forgot stuff, but like sometimes we would think that she was playing a trick on us at first. You know, we thought she was just bullshitting, because like, how you remember my name and remember this and remember that, but you don't remember that. You know? And it's funny looking back, you know, in a way, because it's like, damn, nigga, this is her house, this is her room, and you over here getting mad because she want to go to bed or whatever it was. But yeah, we went off, man, and you know, it was unnecessary. And I just wish that we never went in like that, because like I wish we was more understanding of what was going on. But you live, you have regrets, you have white people on podcasts that put you in the corner, you know, and stuff like that. Anything else you remember about this XTV Mania aside from the grandmother incident? Nothing else, man. I just remember Sis being so damn big. You know what I mean? Intimidating as hell. And we was just doing so much. We tried to come from different locations. I think even some matches got canceled, you know, and Killer and them came out randomly. They wasn't scheduled to come out, you know. And I think they was just so bad. They just did some shit. Oh, Killer did his Killer Comedy Tour there. That's what happened, you know. And one thing I like about XTV Mania is it always ties in to the WrestleMania, because like WrestleMania 5, I think that's what happened. I think it was at 3 different locations or some shit, you know what I mean? And it was just a lot of shit going on, and that's similar to what was going on with this TXG Mania 5, because like at WrestleMania 5 they had Morton Downey Jr. and Brother Love and Roddy Piper, and like that's what that Killer Comedy Tour segment was like. It was like just all this shit happened, and I think it was LT and Killer, they was like battling, you know, doing a Killer Comedy Tour, and all of us, I mean, doing a stand-up type of shit. But the bad thing about this too, this TXG Mania, is that you can't hear it. What were you guys recording with, a shoebox? That was corny. Nah, we was recording with a radio, and we didn't set up properly, and as a result, you can't really hear us. You know what I mean? Except when we go off on Grandma, of course. But I even think to date we deleted some parts out. Like we had just said, nah, this shit too fucked up. Even what Soup was saying, I truly feel Joy was, you know, he was just coming from an anger standpoint. And that's coming from an anger standpoint and just coming from just, nigga, that's just disrespectful. You know what I mean? Because I don't even want to repeat what Soup said. Like, I truly don't like it. You know what I mean? It was, like, really fucked up. Like, damn, nigga, that's what you said, you know? But like I said, you live, you learn, try to teach others. Little niggas don't listen. Badasses. The final Real World Tampa, Season 1, that is. This was really highly anticipated. This is another big boom of a downfall. You know what I mean? We already talked about Call of Duty and how that didn't deliver. This was another one, dog. Like this, that's somebody that everybody was looking forward to, you know, and it was horrible. Too much was going on it. It's like, nigga, how come Bess got a mentally ill baby? don't laugh, you know. Nigga got a mentally ill baby. The baby got shot. Jazz Misha killed herself. Trunks get shot in a drive-by. Faz is there too, and he throwing knives at Trunks. What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? It was way too much, where it was too bizarre to, like, you know, comprehend and be like, oh, okay. It was too much going on this episode, you know. But like I've been saying, dog, you know, you live and you learn. But this was just too much. Do you think this was attributed to the Burger King era, where Soup would work at Burger King, and, you know, it wasn't the best experience. He was still at Hillsboro. Doug, that's the case with most bad times. You know what I mean? If you in a situation where you ain't happy, and you trying to use the same medium that you used when you was happy to record, of course it's gonna have an effect on that. So hell yeah, it definitely had an effect, you know. And like the Real World was really promoted. It's like, oh man, the Real World Tampa, this shit gonna be epic, the final one. And it was just so underwhelming because too much negativity was happening on it, and it was just nothing good happened. You know, the big girl on there died. She had a heart attack. Like, look at that shit, you know. I mean, y'all call 90% bad, you know what I mean? Shit, I'll take it. But damn, nigga, look at all this shit, you know. Point well taken, 90. You better take that point. I'll whoop your ass. Now, we got a few more things we're going to talk about in 06. Dixie's music, 90. Do you remember it? So stupid. So ridiculously retarded. Dixie was on Millennium's podcast, I believe, recently. And she said that this was her darkest era. Like, man, I love Ada. You know, definitely a legend in XTV and somebody, you know, definitely belonging in the Hall of Fame very soon, I hope. But Dixie need to go before her in that same induction, because this was a period in itself where she made herself so relevant. You know, prior to this, like, Dixie was getting more irrelevant because Soup didn't like sounding like a girl. But when you darken the voice of the female you being, and you put that dark ass attitude in there, it makes it stand out. You know what I mean? And that's a cool ass girl to smoke weed with, except when she get on that Ouija shit. Oh, really? Hell yeah, man. You know, she cool when she in the booth making music or talking about, you know, tarot cards or something like that. But when she on that damn Ouija shit, and, you know, she be just, Ouija, are you with me? More murder, more murder, more murder, more murder, more. Just out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? And then you saying shit just flying. I'm here, Mr. Ouija, are you with me? I'm here. Bitch crazy, you know? But she just was, it was well deserving, you know. To me, this is, if it was like a Diva of the Year of 06, shout outs to everybody, my sister, everybody, but this was her year, man. You know, she was on Team Dark, and she was just such a rebel about hers. And that's what you can sum up 06 as, like, just the real rebel era, like, where we didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And this was the beginning of that attitude. It's like, no longer was it that CAW, us trying to be something. This was us, you know, finding ourselves. and I think we did a great job. But going back to Dixie's music, man, my favorite song, even though So Stupid was #1, I like Dirty Cunt Whore. Dirty Cunt Whore, you dirty cunt whore. I like that, dog. You know, jiggy, jiggy, jiggy. Shit just made me laugh, dog. Yeah, I like Dixie music. She dope. And another thing I want to mention is that prior to Dixie doing music wasn't done anymore. You know, I mean, you had MZ, who was the last guy to do music, and then Sonic and stuff. But now 06, you know, when we think music is not gonna be like a part of this era, there it is. Yeah, dog. That's why I say she unique. You know what I'm saying? This was a period where we was trying not to do nothing related to sides, but she found a way of putting elements of sides, like the rock and roll and the random music we would make up, and she put it here and made it dark and meaningful for that time period. You know what I mean? And she was amazing, dog. She is amazing. Shout outs to Dixie, man. Definitely. King Kong. When I was on my come up doing 90%, the off-air episodes, there was this entity sneaking up on my tail. Everybody was like, man, King Kong, man. You know? And at one point, we was both like neck and neck. King Kong 90%. King Kong 90%. Because Trunks was on there, Faz was on there, Killer, and Ronald, and they was trying to find King Kong. And it was so good, but it was the shortest series of all time, because they eventually beat it. I think the shit had like 10 levels. And that shit was dope. I mean, like, each scene, like, one of my favorite things that stand out to me on that King Kong shit is the time, like, we was on this raft, like one of the damn, you know, the made boats that little, I guess cavemen make, the little rafts. And it was made out of like wood. Like, I think they had to make the shit, you know. It was made out of bamboo stick and wood. And we was on a raft just riding the river. And we was like, this is the part of the game. I guess this is the part of the game that's boring. And out of nowhere, some damn like Native Americans or whatever the fuck, some like tribe just started shooting arrows and shit at us. And it was like, ah! And it scared the shit out of me. Cause like, we playing the damn game and I feel my controller vibrating and I see this damn tribeman all in my face. That shit scared the fuck out of me, dad. Like I had said, ah! You know, teeth. Definitely a teeth. And yeah, that was a good ass series. And then, I mean, you know, it was big if Trunks say, fuck that shit, I'm gonna wrestle in this damn King Kong outfit. And you know, he became very dominant in that. I think he even won a champion on many occasions in that suit. He probably need to put the shit on now, actually. You know, maybe that would help. But yeah, dog, this was a important piece, you know, to 06. And it's too bad that it didn't make it to be recorded, because it got completed before we got that radio. '90 the movie. The reason this shit didn't happen is because this is another damn thing where we trying to do too much and we ain't got a lot. You know, this was supposed to be, it was going to have Wesley Snipes, and this is before the Expendables. You know, we was going to have Wesley Snipes, Bruce Willis, all kind of people on this shit. I mean, you announced it on an episode as if it was going to happen. That's because it was supposed to. But shit just changed, man, you know. And yeah, man, that's all I want to say with this. It's just something that could have happened, but given limited resources, the shit didn't happen. You know what I mean? Could it happen now, though? Nah, I mean, maybe. Cause I think Killer said some shit of he got like a Killer digital movie plan. And you know, I don't want to follow that up with a 90% the movie. Ooh, look, back in the old days, remember? I don't want to do that. You know, Killer already got that plan. Let him do that. 90% the movie would be too hard for me, man. Like it's just a lot going on, you know. And it's a new era. That happened. Let it live. Let it rest. As far as the dark side, this was another thing where XTV was trying to expand, you know what I mean? Because it gets stuck in that same rut. It's like it's supposed to just be this way. Huh? Nah, man, because FNK was doing this thing in 90% in the Joe Show. It's like, and we wanted to add more shit because also Soup was listening to a lot of heavy metal music around this time, and he wanted to implement that heavy metal music into the, you know, his material. What the fuck was that crawling? Oh, he wanted to implement that shit into his material, and he tried it. So you gotta give him props for that. But it never stuck. And the only good episode was that one from 07 where Dixie and Ty was arguing. And then another episode from 07. But overall, it's a show that happened, and you know, it's not really remembered or regarded as one of the greatest, but like I said, at least it tried to be. At least it was different, but it just, I don't know, it just didn't hit. Some people say Dixie's voice is what drew them away, you know. The fact she was so manly, transsexual, like a lot of people say. Maybe, you know. I don't know, dog. I don't know why this didn't work, man. Your own brother, cousin. Well, 90, we enter, hold on. We enter into 07. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Damn, oh. And 90% backwards is the longest recording since the Action 1 and 2 tapes. It's 3 tapes long, and go into it. When we recorded this shit, I was literally at the height of my success. You know what I'm saying? And I think 90% has different spurts. You know, like I got my 07 period, you know what I'm saying, where it was undeniable. And my 08 period where I was more so that legend, you know what I'm saying, that can't be fucked with. And then you got the 06 when I was kind of just starting out with the show by myself. And, you know, it just got its little spurts. The 2011 season where, bitch, you know, I just exist and I'm just successful. But this period was my most interesting. You know what I mean? And I would even say my most fun. Because I was doing so much and it wasn't too overwhelming. You know what I mean? Everything just fell in place with this episode. Did I know it was going to be that long? Hell nah. I mean, the fact that we recorded, stopped, then came back from the casino and continued to record it and all that. Everything that went down on this, you know, makes this just the greatest recording. Also, the radio was hit by Judge Maybelline or something like that. Yeah, she hit our radio. And it made the tape play backwards. Yeah. But in 2013, we were able to play it forward for the very first time since just sitting there, or since you were just sitting there and recording it. Yeah, that's legendary. You know what I mean? That brings new life to the recording. And that's why people can say 90% the Real Nigga Collection, even though that is one of my favorite recordings, this shit here is like one of the greatest TXG recordings because of what's happened. You know, now we got new light with just that piece finally being brought to the public. You know what I mean? That we thought that we lost forever. And that's never happened. Like, not with no recording. So that truly makes this a big special recording, you know. And it is super damn long. I mean, you had Barney on this episode. Yeah, Dak. I don't even know what the hell made me want to have Barney on this shit. But, yeah, man. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. The Real World Tampa is season 2. It's something that, you know, can never be duplicated or never be outdone. It's like, this is the staple, you know, and I think this is what changed the direction of TXG, you know, this whole series, because like in 06, we was always just violent, you know what I'm saying? And just like careless. But this, it had more structure, you know what I'm saying? It was like, this is what's going on and this is why it's going on. Like, I feel like the Real World Tampa was more so explain anger, you know what I mean? As opposed to the 06 shit where we was just mad and it was so fast and, you know, we hitting all kind of points, but like, you don't understand why we making these points or saying these things. But the real world was just that, the real world, you know what I mean? And you got people like Monster, who's mentally ill, and you know why he's doing what he's doing, because it hurts, you know, being in that situation. In the Miss Joe storyline with him, James being a racist, he even tell his backstory, you know what I'm saying, on why he hate black people. And everybody has an explanation of who they are, and it's not just, you know, rage for no reason. And I think that's what made this a game changer, you know, a definite game changer. Because like I said with Sing Along, everybody tried to follow that format. But here comes a new format, natural format. Boom, you know what I'm saying? And it still hits to this day. I mean, for it to have this much of a legacy, it gotta mean something. And this is one of the greatest recordings, you know what I'm saying, of that period, because of what was being done, Dad, you know. It's legendary. I love it. We talked about the Ribbits dominating already. Why you gonna mention that? Man. 90% Black and White was an episode brought upon because they wanted to put my show in black and white to make it look like the 50s, so it didn't look that violent. You know what I mean? And it was done, like they put me in this suit and everything. And this was one of the worst recordings at the time as far as my career, because it was just bad, you know what I mean? It was awful in every way, because I think I was even trying to sound like them, and the fans that brought into the product of 90%, they was confused. They was like, why is he, you know, listening to the corporate people? And I mean, prior to this, what people don't know is you got canceled many times due to your violence, so you had to come back like this in order to stay relevant and have your fans. Yeah, that's true, you know, but there's always a way that you can still be you and not give in to corporations telling you to tone your violence down. You know, this is me listening to the corporations like, okay, I'll bow down to massa, and not just going out, you know. And I think seeing the response to this show inspired me to change, you know, because as a result, you got the longest 90% episode and all these other different things that followed after this. But this was a dark time period, you know what I mean, in XTV. This is early 07, and we still trying to figure shit out, and still trying to figure out how XTV West is going to stand out from the East. Because, like, that's what we struggle with, I feel like, on the West Side, is that we didn't know how we was going to stand out. And, you know, I remember one time, Justin or Bob was like, damn, you know, you can't tell the difference between XTV sides, you know, over there. Like, you can't tell the difference between 90 and Pain. Like, he said that shit one time, and it had an effect on us because we always wanted to just stand out, and everybody's different. Like, personality-wise, how we talk, how we act, you know, interact. I got a cramp on my back, Dak. Let me change positions. And we always wanted to do that, you know what I'm saying? But shut up. Sorry. So that's what we tried to do. And it was a struggle, you know, like I said, Doug. And so when they would say shit like that, it would have an effect on us where we would be like, damn, you know what I mean? We trying, and this is what trying gets us, I guess. Fuck that shit. So I don't even remember what I was talking about. I lost the train of thought. Yeah, we was just trying to figure out how to stand out from, you know, XTV East and not just be the same, you know. And we didn't know how to do that shit, bruh. But we wind up finding out. We wind up just like, again, making shit natural. And, you know, if it meant shit, we stopped trying to do it for them, and we started doing it more so for us. And if it was good enough for us, then that's just what it was, you know what I mean? And that's probably why, you know, I think in a way maybe XTV East Coast don't know shit, because like we kept a lot away from them, you know what I mean? Not, like, I guess in fear of ridicule and shit like that and stuff. But like when you break it down, I think now we a lot more fearless, you know what I'm saying? Because like they like it. You know what I mean? They like the stories of the real world. They like the stories of House of Rivers or whatever the fuck, because they wasn't there. But we was afraid to give it to them because we thought it was going to be like, oh, you know, everybody sound the same. Because I even think we tried to give them some shit, you know, around this time even, and it just wasn't that good. But, you know, 90% Black and White was a experiment. And it was a failed experiment, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, the influence, the negativity of the reception of the episode caused is lives forever. FNK the musical, dog, I still love this recording because this is another thing where we trying to expand, you know what I mean, and we trying to stand out. FNK the musical put a smile on my face to this day, man, cause like you got Killer, he rapping like Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying? Cause one time Joe gave us he just gave us his headphones and said, man, you gotta listen to this, and it was dedication to, you know, Lil Wayne's mixtape, and he just gave it to us. We was both getting a haircut at Ron's house, and I played it, and just, I guess every track sounded like the same to us at the time. And so, you know, that's just what the beginning of that shit is. Killer just kind of just doing what he heard, and he just all like, when the motherfucking get the motherfucking gun, and it's just stupid, you know what I mean? But it just show you, like, we trying to do something new. Like, okay, maybe we should try music, you know what I mean? Maybe we should try it this way. And FNK Musical is one of the first recordings to get them out that drought. You know, some people say FNK Time Machine, but we ain't got that no more. Let's not mention it. You know, but the musical was funny. And I love the ending, the whole tension between Grandpa Joe and Pain. Nothing but laughter, man. And the same with Deadly Gas. You know, this brung them out of that drought as well. It put them into a better light, you know, because like they finally found their voice. And I think this was all influenced by the real world, though, in a way, you know what I mean? Because this was controlled anger. You know, you didn't hear Trunks just going off for no reason. Everything was just put so well, you know what I mean? Like, even Trunks, like, now it just seemed like uncontrolled rage and he just mad. But like, when he can sit down and discuss something and discuss why he's pissed off, you can get a lot out of him. And, you know, that's entertainment and that's other different things, you know. Shouts out to Trunks. Deadly Gas is classic, dag. I mean, I want to go in on this, but we gotta work tomorrow. Shit, like Deadly Gas, man. I like it cause it's like he fart, and then they gotta go to Grandpa Joe's house. They gotta go to all these different places until that shit done. Oh man, it's funny, you know, and all the different misadventures. It's one of the best stories, you know, for a long time, up to before that. Words. Killer finally came into his own when he did Don't Do Drugs, you know, that recording. This is when he stood out. Excuse me, Dag. Damn. He stood out in a way that made it like, oh damn, you know, that's what Killer doing. You know, his Killer comedy to his jokes was stronger, you know, and his don't give a fuck attitude was even better because you seen why he didn't care, you know. When you truly have nothing to live for, you don't care. You know what I mean? You don't care about nothing. And I ain't trying to say Killer ain't have nothing to live for then, but damn, nigga, it's like he put his life out there. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever happens, happens. And the fact that I think the best moment that people gonna always talk about on that recording is when they cut the nigga mic off, but he's still going in, still telling jokes, you know, as he getting arrested, and he don't give a damn, you know. So yeah, another legendary recording, you know, and I'm glad we still got the motherfucker. I thought we lost it. This shit heartbreaking, you know. When I heard Payne relapsed back on drugs, it was fucked up because like you seen it coming, you know. And we even got him on a recording talking about something. I'm thinking about using drugs again. He said that one time, and that always stood out to me. Even then, it's like, damn, that nigga actually said that shit, you know, and nobody's there to help him. When you help yourself quit drugs or whatever it is, you need a teacher or whatever, like some kind of tutor to keep you on the right path. And Payne didn't have that. Like, his job was coming to F&K Studios every day, being ridiculed by D-Matic. You know, he didn't have people telling him he doing the right thing. He's good that he quit drugs. He only had negativity around him. And when that's your surrounding and that's your people, it's like, what else, what other way are you gonna go but down? You know what I mean? And that's just where he went, unfortunately. I hate to say the shit, but, you know, he destroyed himself. And, you know, substance abuse is a very fucked up thing. It causes a person to steal from, you know, the people he loved, you know what I mean? And to break the hearts of those people in the process of. But this nigga put on some entertaining moments, dag, you know what I mean? When he was high. I'm so sorry, bruh. Like, I just used to be like, what are you gonna do next? What are you gonna do next? You know what I'm saying? I used to just like follow that nigga around at one point. You know how 90 is. I'm shooting niggas and all this shit. And then I just kind of stopped. I'm like, nah, hold up. Payne just woke up. Ooh, what are you gonna do today? You know? I mean, he did put on entertaining, but his life just spiraled out of control. Yeah, man, but it was an entertaining spiral for a nigga that wasn't him. The Real World Reunion, this is what saved it from being, you know, declared as one of the worst. Because, you know, that last episode of the first Real World Tampa was so bad and so panned by critics, where this shit needed to happen in a way. You know what I mean? This shit better be good, bitch. You know, that lackluster ass show y'all gave us. And this is another one that's just, to me, regarded as one of the best. You got Payne and them on there, and it's just so, it's ballsy, you know what I mean? And that's, to me, the type of ingredients you need on XTV West. You need to be ballsy. You need to not give a fuck. And that's just what this was, like us, that balls to the wall, so what you gonna do about it type of attitude. And the places they would go and the fights that would happen is what stands out to me about this, you know what I mean? And everything was funny, except that one part where Best go into Soup's mind and it's called the Infirmary Room. That was lame. Sing Along dying was a sad death, dog, you know. It took me back to when we lost the first TXG Mania in 02, what Monster didn't talk about, you know. I remember when we lost that TXG Mania, though, we was playing it on that old Keisha radio, you know, and then it just, we heard, you know, the sound that you don't want to hear when you playing a cassette tape. And it was like, we took it out, and we was like, shit, because it was stuck. It was stuck. It was one of them type of pops, you know what I'm saying, where it was really stuck. And then we took the motherfucker out, and that was the end of TXG Mania. And then you fast forward, we in the same house, but we ain't using Keisha radio. And, you know, it's Sing Along, dog, and we hear, it's like, uh-oh. It ain't gonna happen again, though. We slowly took the shit out, and we thought, if we take it out slowly, maybe the shit, you know, it won't happen. Maybe we went a bit too quick. Maybe we went a bit too slow. Either way, we don't got Sing Along. And it's fucked up. Because like I said, this was one of the greatest recordings that, like, I felt we did. And, you know, we don't really have much audio of it outside of a few clips here and there. The whole thing is gone. You know what I'm saying? And I just wish we still had it. And I think at the time they was trying to make like Laugh Along, because we found this one recording that we just couldn't stop laughing at, and we named it Laugh Along in remembrance of Sing Along, which is cool, you know. But it's more of a holiday recording when you break it down, because like we keep talking about Christmas on there because it was Christmas of 07. With Sing Along, it wasn't like dated to a holiday. It was like you could play that any and every day. You know what I'm saying? Laugh Along is more so of a holiday type of recording, and Sing Along is you can play that anytime. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was unfortunate when the shit passed. Or I said passed, like the motherfucker had cancer. Well, it was unfortunate when it popped though, man. It was lame. Suck dick. So some people consider this the fall of Best's career. XTV Mania 6. That's because it is. You know, you could just tell. Like, the first match was Best versus Beast, and Beast picked him up for this last ride, and you heard him, he had said, this could be it right here, man. You know what I mean? And the screen kind of went to that gray color it turned to on 06, and he got slammed on the ground real hard, and he lost to a KO. And to me, that was it, because I remember just seeing it turn gray and just everything moving in slow motion. And I'm like that just symbolized so much when he said, this could be it right here, man. You know, it's like, damn. And he fell off real bad after this, if you remember. Oh yeah, I remember. Like he fell off horribly, you know, and it's fucked up. I want to smoke. Huh? Nothing. I'm having a lot of thoughts. Oh man, that's never happened to me before. Real quick, we doing this shit on a different recording. We gonna continue the damn story of what we was talking about. But a nigga got so many thoughts that I just said I wanna smoke. And I truly was just thinking that was gonna be a thought that stayed in my head. But for some reason, that thought came out my mouth. I don't know what the hell wrong with me today. Maybe it was that bad of a day where I'm just blurting random shit out. I hope it don't happen again. So yeah, that was that. Anything else stand out about XTV Mania 6? Justin kept on saying celebrate. I guess they kept on playing the celebration of gospel I guess they kept on playing like the previews of the celebration of gospel, and I guess Fred Hammond and one of them dudes kept on going celebrate, and Justin kept saying that. And this is another damn XTV Mania where the recording, you can't hear us. You know what I'm saying? The setup was shit, but we got better over time, as you know. So Wells comes into XTV. Yeah, man. Wells to me, Wells my nigga, dog. Like straight up. I like Wells because when he came in, it's like all we heard was him laugh. Like all we heard was raw, raw. You know what I'm saying? That's all we heard. And we didn't know nothing else about him. And eventually he started talking. You know what I'm saying? And like people thought based off his voice, he was a pussy, he was a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Even people like Best, Bobby, whoever, they would test him based off of his voice. They thought he was a like girly sounding. And he had to fight, you know what I'm saying? And he surprised everyone when he did. They was like, damn, ain't know he was gonna be that good. It's like, that's why I like Wells, because he was fighting, you know what I mean, against everything, against all the odds that people was stacking against him, and he would win, you know. And I mean, how do you feel about Wells now, though? I think that he finally getting the right light shined on him. I think he's standing out a lot more, you know. At this time, he was still under that man umbrella and shit like that, and you know, nothing stood out about him aside from his voice. But now he truly standing up for himself. And you know, Wells to me is the Kanye West of XTV. You know what I'm saying? Cause he ran a lot. You know, he go in on his rants, and he'll just go in. Like we seen what he did in 2012 when he shot all them damn people and all that. That's some old Kanye West, I'm mad at the world shit, you know. And that's just what Wells always represented. And he ain't pussy. He'll beat your ass. As for his show with Killer, I feel like this show could have been, you know, much better. I guess the audience wasn't feeling it no more. You know, the Killer and Joel show. It was probably too random, you know what I mean? But I think it was like a Beavis and Butthead type of show. And it was very entertaining. You know what I mean? I wish that this would have continued to grow, but eventually the Cosby Show happened, so you know you can't really get mad at that. Any episodes stand out to you? Man, the one where they damn robbed the damn store, you know what I'm saying, and get money in a store and all this shit. Like the fact that I think what was interesting about this show is that they the dumbest characters, but the best shit happened to them. You know what I mean? So in turn, the storyline is these two dumbass niggas, but the best shit happened to them. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's entertaining about the Killer and Joel show. I think we lost a few episodes, but it's still some out there, you know, and it stand out. But I think the audience retention, you know, they was just probably getting bored of the same concept, and they wasn't looking that deep into it like I seen, you know, and shit, they stopped watching it. And I'm pretty sure y'all niggas gonna be like, oh, you on that dick because you like them. You on that dick because you like them. Shut up, Dak. I'll bust your lip up, fuck nigga. What's the next thing we talking about? GXT teat. Definitely a teat. Man, this damn thing need to get at my peak it. Get out me. Get out. Shit. I'm tired of your ass. Yeah, GXT was just some shit that we was trying to do. At first, this is what GXT was. We was trying to make another world outside of TXG. Because we thought that, damn, you know, TXG is cool, but GXT can be a new world where we just have new things going on. And we got on FNK the Musical, you see them go to GXT, and you can tell that Soup trying to figure out what is GXT. You know what I mean? And it just didn't work. But what did come out of that was the show GXT with Joe at, you know, and it had King Justin, Singer. And I think that this, before the WWE, this is what stood out and what had its own identity. I mean, because Destruction came here. And what surprised me is Destruction was actually successful in GXT. You know, he comes to XTV, yep. And he's not that good, he's not that over, but him, Wesley Snipes, he even got a picture, Wesley Snipes that is, got a picture drawn of him by Joe at. GXT was a big deal at the time. Yeah, man. I think that it was like WCW in a way, because I think it would come on before we would play, you know, 06 and stuff. So, yeah, GXT was the shit, bro. Like, really. Singer on commentary, AVW, Justin, you know, King Justin. It was crazy, man. You know, I used to like when King Justin used to argue with AVW and Singer used to be like, yo, ain't nothing but some damn booty partners. You know, like, I used to love that shit. Just, I missed this period, you know. You know, y'all niggas can't fuck with me. Like, I say that shit because it's true. You know, not to go on no Kanye ego rant, but niggas, y'all can't fuck with me, dog. When James did his show Vice City, his words was, I'm going after 90. I'm gonna be better than 90. You know, when you look at what I do, nigga, not only can I swim and you can't swim, I've already established myself as one of the best XTV stars. I'm in the process of being this high. And you come in this bitch, not even that relevant, talking about something, oh, I'm gonna take your spot. How you gonna take my spot, nigga, when you ain't even got a spot? You know, like that. But you gotta give credit where credit is due. At least he tried. You know what I mean? With tried Bob, he tried. James, though, you know, Vice City in hindsight, it, you know, it does have a legacy, you know what I'm saying? A great legacy. Like, I wished it would have lasted longer, because it does stand out from my show. You know what I mean? You got him and his family, and you see it's more so family oriented. You know what I mean? Even though it's still in the same vein of my show, because you got the same characters, Killer in them, but it stands out because James is the main character, and you know, you see his family and the interactions, and that's legendary to me, man. You know, I like Vice City though. Do you think it could come back? I mean, because as you mentioned, I mean, it even beat you one time, you know, in the XTV Fuse era. Yeah, it did. You know, it did. But I don't think it could come back now. Like, a lot of shit just changed. You know, I truly don't think that nothing from the past, like 10 years, you know, last year, whatever, I don't think nothing should ever try to come back. It's like we own bigger and better things, you know what I mean? That happened already. Like, that was that era, that was that period that happened, and it was good for that time. And, you know, maybe it has a legacy now, yeah, cool. But when you break it down, bruh, when shit already happened, it just that, it happened. You know what I mean? And now we got new things and better things that it has inspired and that it will inspire. And when that gets old, same shit I'ma say. You know what I mean? Same shit I'ma say, I'm a Makusai. FNK, no swearing. This is something they tried before. Just doing a whole FNK episode where they didn't cuss. And they actually tried it recently, but we can't find that shit. It just shows you how much they curse, though. That's truthfully what my take back from this is that it shows you they cuss too much because they couldn't stop cursing, you know. And even though we looked at this as horrible at the time. You know what I mean? Because they thought they was being fake. It's like when you break it down, they wasn't being fake. You know what I'm saying? This shit was. Hold on. It's just like it just showed you because during the '06 era, they was always like cussing. You know what I mean? And I think this kept them limited to just swearing. And I think this is almost a mind thing. You know what I'm saying? Try to like record yourself not saying certain words or phrases and limiting, your vocabulary to certain words and shit. And that's what they tried to do with this. That's what I need to try to do. I need to try to just do a whole recording without saying I need to just do a whole recording. I truly can't help it. That's just, see, did it again. I just can't help it. But I can at least try. And this fixed them a little bit. Because I think a little while after this, Real World Tampa came, and they ain't the most articulate on the Real World, but shit, you compare that to the '06 episodes, it's a lot better as far as how they putting words together and talking. But yeah, weed. What now, bitch? Soft ass. Suck a dick. Now, the Jits Choice Awards. Oh, yeah. Little 007 wins the Jits Choice Awards. It's because we had, I guess, various little kids at this time. Monster, Little 007, Killer, Wells, and all these different kids. But Little 007 wins the Jits Choice Award. Were you there for this event? My homeboy recorded it on his DVR at the time. And there's a reason it's the first and only, Jits Choice Awards. I heard, that they was sneaking in gallons of sugar. You know what I'm saying? And there was some type of like riot, just a bunch of badass kids, rioting, talking about something. We want Barney, fuck this shit. We want Barney, fuck this shit. And so, as a result, it caused a whole lot of chaos, and it was a lot of mess. Like, I heard the maintenance staff was mad as hell because they had to clean up shit and all kind of stuff. And, stuff that the kids was smearing. They will smear doo-doo on the damn Titantron, talking something. Little 007 didn't deserve to win. Tiana didn't do it. Just all kind of crazy shit, you know what I mean? And, but do you think the right kid won? The white kid won. Yeah, I'm saying, like, truthfully, that's just what it breaks down to. Because if you look back at '07 in hindsight and you see all the kids that was doing their thing, Monster Killer, if you look at everybody doing their thing, who was doing their thing from the beginning of that year to the end? It was Killer. No doubt about it. He was just that Little 007 was just that little white kid that parents like, oh my God, he's so cute. He was that motherfucker. And, once you got that fan base, you're going to win every award they put you up against. You know what I'm saying? It ain't Illuminati. It's white parents. Now, we're only got two things left. Killer and Bobby break the bed. That sound gay. Yeah, well, it was '07, and this when they feud first started. You know what I'm saying? '07. It's just Bobby with his ego having ass. He just always had a huge ego, and just always thought that he would just destroy any and everybody that he faced. Which is okay to have, it's okay to have that ego, like, I'm gonna win. That's fine, do your thing. But like, I guess he gets carried away, you know what I'm saying, and he just loses sight of this another nigga, you know what I'm saying, that you never faced. And The story's been told many times. You know, Bob mentioned, oh, I like Killer's style. He got a very unorthodox style. Then he fights him. Killer cheats too much. Killer sucks. You know what I'm saying? So that's that story. But when the bed broke, I think this is when it was starting to get boiling hot, and you know, tempers flare. You know what I'm saying? And I guess Killer slapped Bobby's shoulder and then ran or some shit. But I think Bobby caught up with him, you know, and somehow they ended up on the bed and that bitch broke. And it was like embarrassing. And then Joe told the family that Soup did it, you know what I'm saying, because Soup was heavier. It's like, motherfucker, you broke that shit too, you know. And yeah, it was a lot of drama with that shit, you know what I mean. But things patch up. You know what I mean? And you don't want to bring up old wounds. Like Gorilla said, we got more to get. So yeah, that's the incident with the Killer and Bobby and the broken bed. And you know, at least this took the focus. I think, to me too, you know, I know this is way different, but like with Best, you know, when he was like falling off, the only thing that was keeping him relevant was this feud with Bob, you know. But once Bob took his focus off of Best and started feuding with Killer, this to me is what brung Best's career way the fuck down. And you know, nobody cared. Yeah. All right, 90, we're almost ready to wrap this up. The Pain's albums, G Shit and Pain X, shitty ass albums, man. You know, but again, this is us trying something different and just trying to just, you know, stand out and just do something else aside from what's the norm, or Pain, that is. That's what he was trying to do. And you know, Pain X is a little bit more tolerable, even though we recorded over half of it. G Shit we can't find. We gave it to Joette, actually. Joette played Pain's G Shit. He played that record. I'm sure he don't even remember doing this, but this was 07, and Joette would play that. Like, he played that shit, and we was like, you playing my record? He was like, yeah. And I don't even know if we asked if he liked it or not, but we caught him playing that shit. You know, he was drawing and playing Pain's music, you know. But as for his best recording, Unplugged, I think that stands out. And you know, to date, you got to give Pain his props, you know what I'm saying, because he, again, that's us having nothing, but with nothing that we have, we making something. You know, you a people cheeser, you making something out of nothing. And I like New Fragrance. That's my favorite track that Pain ever made. Anything else? What the fuck was going on? I guess it's them drugs. 06 and 07 in hindsight. The years XTV West began to have an identity. That's what those years represent for me. You know what I'm saying? Prior to that, we was trying to figure it out. And even in 06, you can say we was still trying to figure it out. But I think we had a clue of what we was going to do once, like, shit like Sing Along and F&K Combat came into formation, you know, because it was like, this is what it is. It just felt right. You know what I mean? Just being that rebel, that attitude just felt so much right. And that's, to me, what made us stand out. And that's what I'm going to remember about those 2 years for as long as I live. It's like, that's when it started. That's when we knew what it was going to be. And we wasn't trying to do it for nobody. We was doing it for ourselves, you know. So, yeah. Well, there it is. 90, you did 06 and 07, and Gex is yet to finish his. He better get his shit together. We're out.